Would that be all that you are requiring, sir? Tip time, baby! Welcome back to 9 to 5 Gamers, and today we are going into the rest of our top 100 series. We are in the 70 to 60 range, and so without further ado, let's get into this video. Right before that though, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on these videos. It helps the algorithm to just pick up and send this video out to as many people as possible. When you don't like this video or when you dislike this video, it ends up just making the algorithm think that nobody wants to watch these things, and if that's the case, then it's pretty sad and disappointing and depressing. But if you want to support the channel further, you could always check out memberships and check out Patreon and all sorts of stuff. I think I have a Ko-Fi out there somewhere as well. But support me in any way that you can. Appreciate all the support and the love that I get for these videos. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Number 70 is my favorite solo-only game of all time. It's not my favorite solo game to play solo, because there's a lot of games that you can play solo, but they're not solo games. But this one is only solo, and that is Warp's Edge. I know you thought I was going to say Final Girl. I actually don't. Did Final Girl even make the list? Did I already say it? Is it coming up later? Maybe. Maybe I actually like Final Girl more than I like Warp's Edge. But I love Warp's Edge is a bag builder, push your luck type of game. You're a spaceship, and you're playing against a mothership that you can pick, and there's different ones that are out there in the game. And you play as like a little ship. You can pick your ship that you want to play as. And basically you have a bag full of chips, and you are pulling chips out, and those chips do evasions or damages and provide shields and different things like that, or different power-ups and abilities. And the basic gist of the game is that you're trying to defeat this entire row of enemy ships. Once you've taken out all their ships, you can start going after the mothership, and the mothership has different abilities and different ways you have to attack it and beat it. But you're building a bag of chips, and those chips get more powerful as you buy new ones. And it's just such a fun game. I really like Warp's Edge. I think it's a game that if you can find a cheap copy of this, you should pick it up and play it if you like solo playing games solo. Number 69, Paladins of the West Kingdom. It's a game that I refuse to teach, but I love to play. Like, if I have a group of people who already know how to play this game and we can just get together and play, it's really, really fun. You've got a tableau full of, not a tableau, but you got a board, like a player board, that has a bunch of like worker placement spots on it. And every turn, you're going to draft a card that's going to give you different colored workers. And depending on the colors of the workers, you can place them on spots to do different actions and to build different parts of your board up. And you're just trying to score points. It's a really crunchy game. It's by Shem Phillips. And the other one? I forget. But this style of game is really fun. This is my... Oh, I haven't played the West Kingdom, so I can't say this is my favorite. This is one of my favorite games from Shem Phillips, but I definitely really enjoy playing this game. It's just a hard teach for me, so I don't get it to the table very often. Next game on my list, my number 68, is Holotype, Mesozoic North America, as well as Mesozoic Europe. If you haven't played with the expansion adds a lot to this game that just makes it like kind of like branch out. I think the expansion kind of reminded me of what Tuscany did for like viticulture. It just expanded the game to a point where it's like, oh wow, now I don't feel like I will ever play this game without the expansion. But Holotype is just a simple worker placement game. It reminds me a lot of like Lords of Waterdeep, where you're getting cubes and fulfilling contracts and different things like that, and you're trying to do different research projects, so you have to gather cubes to research different cards. So if you like Lords of Waterdeep, you'll probably like Holotype. But it's all about dinosaurs, and you're finding fossils and digging up fossils and then doing the research to post your findings and stuff like that. And then as you do that, you gain points. But it's a really, really easy game to play. It's not super complicated. And the cool mechanic of the workers is that there is a small, a medium, and a large worker. And when you take a worker placement spot, all of the spots have like a couple of spaces that you can go to, but once those are taken up, it's blocked off. But you can supersede that by bumping somebody's piece off. You just have to have the piece that's bigger. So right, if somebody has a small character, a small worker on a spot, you can bump it with a medium worker. A medium worker can be bumped with the large workers. And it's super interesting. I love that mechanic, because at the same time, it's like I am getting the spot, but I'm giving the worker back to my opponent. So instead of them taking a single action to recall all of their workers, now I'm actually bumping their worker back, so now they can continue to take turns and get an advantage. So you got to be real strategic with how you do those things. super fun. I really like Holotype, and I think it's a great game that a lot of people would love. We just got to give it the chance and find a copy out there. Number 67 is Slay the Spire, the board game. I love Slay the Spire, the video game. That was the first time I played Slay the Spire, because I played that because it was like $5, and I was like, I'm going to download this and play it and see what it's like, because then I'll know if I want to buy the board game. Once I played it, I was like, yeah, this is going to be an amazing board game, and it is. Slay the Spire is basically a roguelite game, which is like, the way that I can describe that is, you are, honestly, the best way to describe it is video games from the 80s and 90s, because back then you didn't have save files, and you're just like, I'm gonna make as much progress as I can. Oh, I died? Oh, I have to start from the very beginning again? That's how video games used to be. So it's a lot like that. There's no saving your progress, really, although you can save your progress, but again, it's saving your progress in the middle of climbing the tower. So you're climbing the tower and defeating different waves of enemies, or in each spot there will be an enemy, or there's like a treasure chest where you can get power-ups, and it's a deck builder. So you're playing with a deck of cards, and then that deck, you build it up with new cards by buying them from the markets or winning them from combat and stuff like that. And then there's a boss at the end of the tower. So you climb the tower, you get to the boss, you beat him, and if you beat him, you rest up, you go, and then you start the next tower. And I think there's like 3 that you have to do, but it gets increasingly difficult. And if you die, you reset back to the beginning, all the cards come out of your deck, and you have to start over from scratch. But there's a lot of cool things that they have in this game that make the game super interesting, including like asymmetric player boards with different characters that work very different mechanically, and it's just really fun, man. This is a great deck builder, probably one of my favorites. That's why it's my number 67. My number 66 is Grand Austria Hotel. Grand Austria Hotel is a game that I played a few times. I really liked it. Haven't played it in a while, but again, life of a content creator, this is just my lot in life. I have to play new games constantly so I can continue to review games and put games out there. So this is a game I haven't gotten a chance to play a ton since I got it, but it's really, really fun. Oh, look, I have it right here. And so in this game, you are running a hotel, and you're just trying to make your guests as happy as possible by fulfilling their orders for like coffee and cakes and sweets and different things like that. But it's got this dice mechanism where you're using dice to determine which actions you're gonna do. Really, really fun. I like the game. Like I said, I haven't gotten a chance to play it in a while, so like in my mind, I'm like struggling to remember. I just remember that you're grabbing cubes, putting them on cards, hiring staff, building up your hotel and stuff like that. And that's kind of what you're doing. You're just running a hotel, and it's got a dice mechanic behind how you play it. So really fun game. I like it. Grand Austria Hotel. My number 65 is another game I love playing solo, and that's Hadrian's Wall. Hadrian's Wall is an amazing roll and write game, but this roll and write has these 2 huge pads, and you're gathering like actual like physical resources, and you're using those resources to build up different areas of this wall. You're trying to build up this wall and trying to fortify your defenses against like an invading army. And it's just a cool roll and write, flip and write game where you're just flipping cards over and drafting workers and using those workers to mark off certain things. The thing I love about the game is all the combos. It's like when I check this off, it lets me check off a thing over here. That will let me check off a thing over here. I love combo games like that. Games that provide those like combo spaces, and it's a really fun game. Very thinky, very crunchy, very difficult. It's not like the easiest game, and there's a lot of strategy that goes into how you manage your resources and everything that you're doing. Very, very fun. I love Hadrian's Wall. That's why it's my number 65. My number 64 is In the Hall of the Mountain King. This is another one of those games that I've played it. I really liked it. Haven't played it in a while, but it's a very, very fun game. And the way that this game works is that there's like this big tunnel, and are you like a troll or a goblin or something like that? And what you're trying to do is you're trying to burrow through like the ground, and you're trying to mine and dig up different things. And then it's got this cool, interesting mechanic of like, how would I describe it? It kind of reminded me, when I think about it, I don't remember it completely, but it kind of reminded me of Seven Wonders Duel, where you got kind of like that little pyramid of like different workers and stuff like that, and they have like different costs, and you can like take these things and man, I forgot. It was really good though. Like I remember playing this and really liking it, but like I said, I haven't played this game in quite some time, but it's definitely a solid game. I love the polyominoes. You basically are placing little polyomino pieces, and those pieces you are gathering from like a market of them, and then as you get them, you're going to place them out, and there's 4 people that are placing these polyomino pieces on the same board, but you got to kind of stay away from other people's tunnels, and you got to create long tunnels and try to get to the center of the board, and the deeper in you go, the better the rewards and different things like that, and you're trying to build up these little altars with these little statues on them, and you just gain points from doing all of these things. So the more that you mine and the more that you do, you gain points. Really cool game. I really love this. I'd like to play it some more and play it again, but it's definitely up there in my games. I really enjoy this. So that's my number 64. My number 63 is Cthulhu Death May Die. This is just a fun scenario driven game where, you know, like a typical CMON game. I guess you call that Ameritrash, which is just like got a bunch of big beautiful monster figures that are roaming around inside of like a room, and you're going around trying to complete a couple of objectives, and then you fight the final boss, and that's usually how this game runs. But the cool part is that each person has their own asymmetric player that has their own abilities, and then you start off with like not a lot of abilities, but as you continue to go through the mission, your insanity track continues to grow. The more insane you go, the better your powers are, and so you begin to like really power up, but you have to balance it, because if you continue to push and push and push, you can end up dying from that insanity, and then after that it's just a matter of time before everybody else dies. And it's a fun game. It's really good. I like the scenarios, and there's a ton of expansions for it, so there's plenty of opportunities to play this game more. I really enjoyed it. That is my number 63. Number 63, Cthulhu. Love it. Number 62, Wonderlands War. This is a game that I haven't played too often because I don't own the game. I was able to play it at like Dice Tower East. Really enjoyed playing it there, and it is a really fun game. It's like a war game. There's like area control. There's also like about bag building, and so when you're doing like when you're going through the game, you're pulling chips out of your bag, and then you can add chips into your bag that are more powerful. Each person is an asymmetric person that has their own abilities. There's a lot of games here that have asymmetric stuff in it, but Wonderlands War is really cool. It's based off of Alice in Wonderland, and it's just a bag builder, but it's also got a lot of other cool mechanics, and you're just trying to get the most points by winning wars in different zones and controlling those zones. The more of them you control, the more points you can get, but it's really interesting, and there's a lot that goes into this game. But again, the last time I played it was like 2 years ago, but I just cannot forget that experience. It's very good. And my number 61, Rockard 1977, a more recent game. This is a typical worker placement Euro style game, but it takes place in the 1970s when rock and roll was a thing. It's got a cool mechanic for candy, which is candy. When you take too much candy, you end up in the hospital, but if you use candy, it gives you a boost to do certain actions. But it's cool. It's got a day phase, a night phase, and like a late night phase. And so the idea is that you're just trying to become more popular. You're trying to get more fame, more notoriety, more money to get your name out there. You're recording, you know, like not a mixtape, but you're recording a vinyl album. You're going and putting your tracks on the radio so that people can hear it. And so you're doing interviews and different things like that to just work on your notoriety, going to late night parties. And there's like, you can take one action per like phase of the game. There's like 3 phases, and then you do like 9 rounds of that, and it's really fun. I really enjoyed it, and it's cool because it was made by Jackie Fox. I remember last time I called her Jamie Foxx, and I was like, oh my gosh, Jackie Fox. But she's the bass guitar player for the Runaways. They're the ones that did the Cherry Bomb, that song. So yeah, she was the one who created this. She's actually an astounding woman. Like, she not only was she like a rock and roll star, but she's like had so many appearances on like Jeopardy and a whole bunch of other stuff. So it's cool because all of this is in her biography. Like in the game, it tells you a lot about who she was or who she is. I don't know why I said was. I'm gonna cut that out of the video. But yeah, I really like Rockard 1977. Great game, great mechanics, simple Euro. Is it the best Euro that they've ever made? No. But it's like her first game, I think, and she did a really good job on this. Like, she knocked it out the park with this. It's made by DeVere. It's very good. The production quality on this game is insane, and it's just a fun time. And there's so much more I could tell you about the game with the amplifier. Like, everybody gets their own little amplifier with their player board in it, and then you have like the little knobs that go up to 11, and you have to try to get all of your stats up to 11. There's 3 different stats you're trying to push for, and you have individual player powers. And if you pre-ordered it, you could have pre-ordered it from DeVere, but you would have gotten a Jackie Fox player board, and you can play as her in the game, which is pretty interesting. But anyways, that's it for this game. I really like Rockard 1977. That's my 61, and that is the end of this list. Tune in for the next list next time, and don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. Trying to get to 20,000 subscribers, and just looking for more people who want to support the channel. If you want to support it, please check out memberships. You can do that here on YouTube. There's a way for you to become a member of the channel, and you pay monthly, anywhere from like $1 to $10, whatever you want to give. All of it helps the channel grow, helps me out financially as well, and it's just a cool way to support the channel, man. And it's super inexpensive. It's like $12 for the whole year, and I also post bonus content on there occasionally for all my members. But I love you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget, put in the comment section some of your favorite games that you played this year, and let me know. Anyway, take care. Peace out.